Welcome to Before Floor, the pregame edition of Five on the Floor, brought to you by the Five Region Sports Network. I'm your host, Jonathan, aka Three Piece Combo. We got Mr. Alejandro Villegas running us on the producer on the ones and twos. As always, if you guys are joining us live, we're playing the Phoenix Suns tonight, obviously without Devin Booker. Since the injury to Devin Booker, they have dropped 4 straight. So it's going to be interesting how we match up against them tonight, given how we matched up against the Lakers last time out with no LeBron, essentially, and losing to that team. So before we get to that, obviously, if you're a Miami Heat fan and you're following us here, make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you're not. And then make sure you guys, Alejandro had it before me, go to markbrownpa.com for all your financial asset planning needs, right? If something happens in your family, to you, or to any of your loved ones, you want to make sure that all those assets are going to the right place. So go to markbrownpa.com. Make sure you marcbrownpa.com or give him a call at 954-866-8513. He'll give you a free consultation. He's based out of the South Florida area, so anywhere in South Florida, you can pretty much reach out to him. It's pretty easy to make it over the phone right now and over a call. Like I said, marcbrownpa.com or give him a call, 954-866-8513. Make sure you give your business to a Heat fan and not a Lakers or a Knicks fan. And as always, you guys know we run up the prize picks every single time. Today I'll be gunning it myself, so I might take some L's if I'm taking it just alone because it's a little bit harder to do those. But make sure if you guys are going to go on prize picks, if you are going to make sure you win money with us, you use the promo code 5. That's FIVE. Spell it out. Will you match your first deposit up to $100? Literally, it's very easy. You just go, you pick a couple players, pick if they'll go over or under on some points, assists, rebounds combined, and then it's very easy daily fantasy. So like I said, to maximize your money, use that promo code 5 like Alejandro perfectly put on the screen, and then that way we'll max your match your deposit up to $100. So guys, we are playing against the Phoenix Suns. Like I mentioned, they are without their biggest player or their key player in Devin Booker, and Miami is going to have an opportunity to kind of get a win back that we should have had against the Lakers. Now, given the magnitude of this game, I think that looking at some of the Phoenix Suns stats, I think since Devin Booker has gone down, they have struggled tremendously to score the ball, right? Since that game in the 28th, 102 points, 104, 83, 88. So the scoring for that team has been really down. It's been difficult for them and an older Chris Paul to get to there. And you see that Phoenix was actually a pretty good defensive team going into the league, before Devin Booker got hurt. But now that he got hurt, the offensive was just kind of in the middle. Now that's dropping off a little bit more, making it a lot harder for them to score. But I think on the Miami side of things, something that we saw that was a positive note was that Bam Adebayo got another 30-point game. And obviously before that, we were undefeated with Bam having 30-point games. But I think that's still a positive sign because with Miami having a Bam that's a legitimate top-tier center, a top 5, top 3 center in the league, when you put both sides of the ball together, that's the Bam Adebayo that this Miami Heat team needs to be centered around going forward. That's the player that we've paid the max, and we're starting to see, and we're continuing to see the evolution of him. I mean, he's had more 30-point games in this recent span than in his whole entire career. So he's continuing to do the right things. That's what I want to see tonight against the Phoenix Suns. I want to see him to continue to assert himself. I think him and Tyler Hero need to continue to develop that chemistry. Tyler Hero has been playing great as well, so I'm looking to see that as well. Now, let's get into some of these prize picks, right? Alejandro, we have some Miami team. Let's go ahead and log into that real quick. So for prize picks, we're going to see what Miami has. So Bam Adebayo is at 21.5, which is very interesting because they actually had him at 22.5 points last time. And given he scored 30 points, even though that is above on the prize picks, they did bring him down. So maybe that's DeAndre Ayton. They're thinking he's a good defensive center. I think Bam Adebayo still eats. For the points, I'm going to go over. I think he still goes over 21.5. I think this is a good opportunity for him. Now, let's get into Jimmy Butler for the 20.5 points. Actually, let's take a look at some of his game logs recently and see how he's been doing. So he's at 20.5 points. If we're looking at the last couple of games against the Lakers, he did have 27, but before that, he's been a little bit slower. His regular season average is a 21.5. So I'm thinking with this game, it's more likely that he might go under because you might see other players want to do his thing. So I'm going to take less there. I'm going to go with less for Jimmy Butler on that one. Now, going into Kyle Lowry, who's the last player on this one, they have him at 11.5 points. I think Kyle gets a little bit more than that tonight. I think that 11.5 is actually a pretty good number. But I'm also looking at that points and assists. I mean, 15.5 for points and assists. I think that's a good one. Alejandro, how are you feeling about that one? Are you liking the more? You can just use the mouse and click more or less. What are you thinking? You thinking more? Or you thinking less? You thinking more too? Yeah, I agree with you on that one. So we're gonna go with those three. We're gonna have Kyle Lowry more than 15.5 points in or points and assists, and then we're gonna have less than 21.5 for Jimmy and more than 21.5 for Bam. Now, getting into tonight's predictions, I do think Miami gets it done tonight. I think this is another one of those games where, like against, I think it was Memphis, where we let the game get away from us. We have allowed a lot of games to get away from us. So I think this is one of those games where we'll see a more dominant, just Jimmy Butler maybe kind of setting the table for everybody and get going. Donut Dan asking, how many threes are we giving up this game? That's a good question. I think that given the circumstances of no Devin Booker, I think it's going to be a little bit easier to close out on the three. Christopher Chen, my man, appreciate you joining us. Yes, we do have enough. Will the third quarter make another appearance tonight? There's so much disparity, but the problem with this Miami Heat team is that we start off really well, and as the quarters go, we become a less offensively proficient team. And it's still noted like that we're like bottom three in offensive scoring in the fourth quarter. So you can't be bottom three in scoring in the fourth quarter and expect to win a lot of games because you have to finish strong. So I'm pretty sure that even if the third quarter doesn't make appearance, we will have a bad quarter tonight. I think it's just given. And I do agree with Ethan as well. A 2-3 road trip. It wasn't good enough, even though we're close. We should have won against the Lakers. Like that's definitely something when we have to get this one tonight. Like this isn't a game, especially given like the circumstances that I mentioned. No Devin Booker. That's a big part of this. Like that's a lot of the scoring that they already were not doing a great job of. And if you don't have Devin Booker and you allow that team to go off against you, I think that just shows there's a little bit of a change that needs to go with this Heat team. So my prediction, I do think Miami gets it done. I think we defensively shut down Phoenix. I don't think they have enough offensively. Donut Dan asking, do we have a good quarter? I do think Miami will have a good quarter or two. I think we go into Phoenix a lot of times. We play pretty well. Like I think Phoenix is one of the teams that no matter when we play them or kind of over the history of time, we've always played well. My boy Kryptonite asking, when is Yurt coming back? Not quite sure on that. He's still out on the injury report. I know he's been posting some cryptic stuff on Instagram, but not sure when he's going to actually be cleared. I would love to see him be cleared, but I'm really liking the minutes of Orlando Robinson, to be honest with you. I think he's been playing really well to kind of been the backup. I know Dwayne Dedman came against the last game, and that literally probably cost us the game because he gave up, that infamous play that we all saw where got the rebound, gave up a steal, then gave up an and one trying to draw a charge. Like that was pretty much the game because it was that close when it came down to the fourth quarter. But that is true, Donut Dan. It just feels like this year we are figuring out ways to lose. When last year and the year before, like we were getting those clutch wins, like Tyler Hero's rookie year, those clutch wins, like every close game, we were getting those wins. I think we were like had a 11-2 or 12-2 record in overtime. Like we were playing really well. So now it's kind of a little bit turned on us where those close games aren't in our favor quite as much. But I do think Miami gets it done tonight. So I think the Heat get the win. I think Bam Adebayo has another good game. And I think defensively, that's really where we're going to see most of everything happen. I think Victor Oladipo will leave his imprints in his game on this game as well. He's continuing to make great strides defensively. I love to see what he would do on the point of attack versus like somebody like Chris Paul. Now, like as always, if you guys are watching live, I know you guys are. Appreciate you, Donut Dan, Kryptonite, my main man, Mr. Christopher Chan. Always talking to you. Appreciate you joining us as well, and Ethan as well, my man. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys go to PrizePicks.com. Use that promo code 5. Spell it out FIVE. And then go to MarkBrownPA.com. Make sure all your financial assets are in place. If something were to happen to you or anybody in your family, MarcBrownPA.com, or give them a call 954-866-8513. Appreciate you joining the solo show here on the pregame show brought to you by the Fire Region Sports Network. Thank you guys as always, and let's go Heat.